Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, along with the sparkly spaz. I just made that up because I forgot.
It makes sense that you're the spaz, and you just made that up. I watched your face, now it's completely red.
Oh, too good. It is episode 141 and April 5th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have Tuesday, April 6th, Venus sextile Mars.
Agreeing?
Friday, April 9th, Mars square Neptune.
Insatiable hunger.
Saturday, April 10th, Mercury sextile Saturn.
Got the plan.
And Venus sextile Jupiter.
Help me out, big guy.
Sunday, April 11th, new moon in Aries.
Vision boarding.
And Venus square Pluto.
1 hour later.
Then in Talisman time, Sandy has finished up to establish a successful career, and 2 upcoming to gain authority and financial success and to get the plan engaged. Then on the horizon, we have our 7-day intention challenge, our CWS webinar, our free astrology forecast, as well as our summer solstice constellation bracelet workshop. Then in our house, Sandy and I are really in the final stages of this May 1st wedding. So stay tuned to hear about why Sandy cried in the dressing room. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions. And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control where you go. I hope you're not mad at me for calling you a sparkly spaz.
No, that's just your reflection of you in the moment because you forgot to write one, right?
I did. And we just started recording, and I was like, oh, I can do this. And all of a sudden I said sparkly because you have a sparkly shirt on right now.
I do.
The quickest thing I could come up with was spaz. And I was scanning my brain for anything else.
Spazical.
Spaz. You're such a spaz. Well, okay. I want to go direct to you all and say thank you so much for all of the emails, the feedback. It really is our nourishment. It keeps us going in this podcast, coming here with the microphones and blasting all this information out. So thank you so much. Vicky sent in an email saying, "Hi, Alex." And this is about the Constellation Bracelet Workshop that we're wrapping up right now.
The spring equinox is wrapping up.
Yes. So she says, "Hi, Alex. I just want to let you know I'd love to be a part of the next workshop.
Ooh.
This last Constellation Bracelet and Workshop has been a great learning experience, fun, and continually brought me back to what is happening in the sky and in my chart. As we were nearing the closing of the ceremony, the others were talking about this being the last time we're meeting. And I thought, this is something that must continue. So count me in for the summer solstice. Thanks for all you do, Vicky."
I just got goosebumps on it because when we did do that number 12 call, we do have an activation once everybody gets their pieces, their talismans, but that I felt the same way. I think we all did because majority of them are coming back on. There's only very, very few, like 2 slots left open.
Right.
But it's like we've gotten to know one another. We've gotten to know one another by our charts. We're learning through other people's charts and then what's going on for them.
Right. And it's so exhilarating and fun to really see how it's working out in everyone's individual chart, because you're coming in as you are, and you have not any need to be apologetic, to try and fit into a different mold. It is literally just going in with what you have. And I think that that's the special part about it, because really the jewels and the gems and the treasure is right there. We always have heard these things like, you'll find the treasure inside, or you'll find, and really I think that's all it is. It just show up, be aware, and you can really find those really great treasures that are right there in front of you.
It's one of my it is my favorite thing to do with, I love doing readings. I like making talismans. I love doing my activation calls for all my sales of talismans. But this part is we get together at random times. They seem random, but they all have an aspect of them that is a good time for a talisman making. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it is, in the middle of the night, beginning of the morning, in the middle of the day, but everybody shows up, every single one of us. And and it helps us to focus for, if we're going through, it's a 6-week time period we're together. And if you're going through something or needing some assistance or feeling disjointed or separate or isolated, this really is a space where some of them were saying, I actually get to say exactly what I feel and no one's judging me because we're making an affirmation, which is a prayer. Mm-hmm. And no one gets to challenge that.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's move into the transits. We have Tuesday, April 6th, Venus sextile Mars.
Yeah, agreeing. That's an exclamation.
And a question mark.
And a question mark. Because these are the two partners in the dance. Venus, the feminine, is making a 60-degree aspect to Mars, the masculine. Now, Venus, this is a reception. So it sounds like a dance and a party and a reception, because actually we'll be talking about that kind of stuff in our house because we've got a wedding coming up in the family. But this reception is Venus is having to put the costume on of Mars because Venus is in the sign of Aries still. So it's this idea of connection to work together, yet there's so many ideas or solutions to consider because that Mars is in the sign of Gemini. So it's like, pick one, damn it, versus picking none. So you're better off picking one than join hands toward that destination together, and you have energized that solution or that idea or that project, right? Mm-hmm. But just pick one.
Got it. I agree. And Friday, April 9th, Mars square Neptune.
This is a square. And now Mars is out of bounds, which is like our, we're holding, Susan Goodell and I are doing our Chatting with the Stars webinars. I always like to say that, is about out of bounds planets. And we're going into a season with a lot of out of bounds planets happening in the next couple months. And Mars is the first one. Actually, you were born with a Mars out of bounds and Uranus out of bounds. I have no out of bounds planets. Do you? Come join us and look at your chart for that extra $5. Because if you do have out of bounds planets, you're going to want to know you really go rogue. Mm-hmm. So this is Mars in a square to Neptune. So insatiable hunger. Something is off. There's an imbalance somewhere in your world. So it's like, Mars wants to go so fast with so many different Gemini traits of managing too many things at one time. So the Neptune is here giving you this distortion, this vagueness, this can't see straight maybe. And so Mars could be moving too fast and hitting walls. So it reminds me, if something's out of balance, you either tilt the thing that's out of balance or tilt your head like you're doing right now. Isn't that interesting you were doing that? You didn't even read my notes. Tilt your head to ponder the ideas on what that could be. Sometimes by tilting your head, you see something straight or clearly, then you know what's off. So maybe it's something food, oriented, or drink, or action. It can be any of those projects that you're maybe moving too fast. So something's not sitting right.
And Saturday, April 10th, we have 2 transits. Mercury sextile Saturn is the first.
Got the plan? You got your answer. Now commit to this with your entire mental ability. Strive and thrive. I really like this day. I'm making a talisman on this day.
I like it. Got the plan, you've got the answer. And I mean, yeah, we always plan ourselves into a hole and then we feel like we can't do it. But really, if you have a plan, just take that tiny step. That's all it takes.
And Mercury is here in that, that mental ability to connect in a sextile, that taking the opportunity, like when you get an idea, Mercury is about ideas. It's in the sign of Aries. Move it fast. Let's take action around it. And it's moving into this sextile to Saturn. Saturn's in its own sign in Aquarius. And all these planets are moving forward right now. We don't have any planets retrograde. So this Saturn is saying, okay, what do you want to establish? What is your plan? Like, what do you want to be the authority of? What do you want to be expert? It's a long haul. What do you want to do? Come on, I'll help you. So it's like, got the plan because you got your answer. You know which way you want to go. So commit to it. Strive and thrive.
I like it. And the same day, Saturday, April 10th, we also have Venus sextile Jupiter.
Yeah, this is about help me out, Jupiter, you big guy. I know you like help me out, big guy.
Help me out, big guy. I like it.
Venus is still in Aries, where she is in debility, but she's in a really lovely sextile to Jupiter. And this is Venus and Jupiter. They're witnessing each other. That's an ancient term using that they're aspecting. They can see each other. And this happens at 10 o'clock in the morning. Almost at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was looking at the wrong notes. And these are the two benefics. So they're looking at each other. They're seeing each other. So when I titled it, Help Me Out, Jupiter, Venus is in her detriment here. So Venus needs help from Jupiter. So she's like, hey, come on, big guy, bring me some goods. And she's at 26 degrees of Aries. So she's coming to the last few degrees of Aries, but she's in her decan. And so that she holds up the ornamental area of an arrangement. So whether it's clothing or crafts or a hobby or an art form of some sort. So engage in your big vision. Maybe you start an Etsy account.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like,
that's kind of an interesting way to translate that.
Well, because this could also be something about money. So how can you put Venus wants to take action or has to take action here. Venus doesn't want to, right? But Venus has to move forward on something that is maybe, in decoratives, art somehow. So if you have something, this is a good day to put something out onto the website, or I'll be making a talisman and we'll get into that, what I've titled that. You can, purchase the talisman maybe as a pre-sale.
Sure. So let's move on. Sunday, April 11th, we have the new moon in Aries.
22 degrees of Aries. This happens at 9:31 p.m. This is in Central Time. Vision boarding. When I used to run my in-person new moon ceremonies,
right,
once a month, it was always the first new moon of the zodiacal year. So it has to be the new moon in Aries. And so this would be the one that we would do a vision board.
Okay.
Because it can help you set the intention for the year, because it's the strongest of the new moons of the year. And I want to point out too that, what rules Aries? Mars. And Mars, the ruler of this new moon, where the moon and the sun sit, is in the area where Mars rules, Aries. And so Mars is sextiling this new moon aspect. And actually, when this is actually happening at 9:31 p.m., the ascendant is Scorpio, which makes the Mars the ruler
of the whole chart,
the helmsman of this whole chart. So it has this, and Mars is at 23 degrees of Gemini. So it's in its bounds or terms. This is the Egyptian bounds or terms that the traditional astrologers and I've been using. So it's the manager of this new moon. It's because it's how things get done. It's, how this strong active period can move forward on all channels, on all dials, on all levers. Systems go. Right? You can almost see yourself sitting at a control panel, right? Like you've got your headset on like you do. You got your microphone connected. It's like, all right, we ready? Okay, let's go. And all of a sudden things take off.
Okay.
Right? Do you like that?
Yeah, I love that.
Vision there?
And I still have my vision board that I did. Man, it must be like 8 years old by now.
Yeah, I wonder what that looks like for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like we should maybe pull that down for our next podcast.
Maybe I'll make a new one.
Well, yeah, Sunday, the 11th.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It really is a great idea. Let's get some people.
That'd be fun. We can do a little mini event. Who knows? If we can make it happen, we'll make it happen.
But if not, plan on getting your magazines. I mean, I'm sure you got something in your house. You don't have to go buy magazines to cut them up. And I took classes for vision boarding with my good friend Carol Rushman in Wisconsin. And to get the board, the color of...
like the poster board?
The poster board, yeah. The color that you're working on. So if it's Venus, get green. If it's Mars, get red, right? If you want to work the sun, get gold or yellow, and put your picture, your photo of yourself
in the middle.
And then you can work off of all of the territories that you're visioning for your year. And then we'll talk about it next year. Ooh. But you do it, I mean, it is new moon at 9:30 p.m. You can really do it within a 72. Jan Spiller, the new moon goddess, she talks about having a 72-hour window of time after the new moon. Now remember, this is after the new moon. You can't make it before. That is a balsamic moon, and those are completion periods. Okay. So new moon begins, and you have to start your...
So maybe even on that Monday.
Maybe on the Monday, is a way better time because 9:30 p.m. I got my jams on.
I do too. Let's be honest. So the next transit we have Sunday, April 11th, same day, Venus square Pluto.
Yep, 1 hour later. So let's break this down. Venus, who wants to make connections, it's relationship, it's about everything beautiful, art, creativity, is square 90 degrees conflict to Pluto, the big power nuclear force.
She really needs some help from Jupiter now.
Right? So she maybe has gotten some from that on Saturday, because by the time we get to the Sunday at 10:20 p.m., but Venus wants to take action here. So invite people in, invite those partners in, invite those relationships in. The new moon, the hour earlier, makes you feel like you can do it on your own, because it's in Aries, that independent, enterprising sign, and Mars is the ruler, and it's supportive here. So the new moon that just took place an hour ago makes you feel like you can do it on your own. Psst, you can. You can do it on your own. But so can they. So can the partner. So can these other people. So if they've called into the moon's help, so you're listening, you're going to call into the moon's help to give you that new moon energy to move forward, to use this creative, active period, all systems go.
Yeah, and a
but
blank
so
slate.
can they. But so can they. So it's kind of like, and no one wants to be abandoned, on a loved one's project. So if you've got a project and they've got a project, how might you work together? Even though you may not want to, it's a square. So there's conflict. So you work with, maybe you have to do that, I'll work with you, you work with me. Or you work on your own and I work on my own, and we come together after our hours of working independently. Like there has to be a plan here for relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
And So let's move into talisman times. You had finished up one, and this is not April Fool's since it was made Thursday, April 1st, to establish a successful career.
Yeah, I am fond of many worldly and material abundances. By receiving these, I am ambitious and achieve beyond my expectations. So this is the sun in the second decan of Aries. And it's really interesting. We've got a lot of players in alignment here. We have the moon. The moon is in Sagittarius, early Sag, making a sextile to Saturn. So it's about establishing structure in a trine to that sun and Venus and ascendant, all in the second decan. So that's what makes this a place of money or worldly material goods. It is about receiving, cash or diamonds or any type of material abundance. But what it does is it creates a successful career, knowing that when you get something, whether it's a reward or in a sale, a trade of some sort, it fuels you to do more, and you become more and more establishing the successful career of achieving more and more beyond the expectations that you originally set.
Great. And the upcoming talismans that you have: Tuesday, April 6th, to gain authority and financial success.
So this is, again, crack ass early in the morning. They've been really early in the morning, man. I feel it, therefore I am. As the ruler and royalty of this, my life, I claim my nobility and monetary reward it provides. Because it's your life. You claim it.
And now it's your domain.
It's your domain. This is, I'm planning to make a blue and black talisman. We've got, again, the moon. The moon is in the second decan of Aquarius, coming up over the horizon at the same time. And it's making a almost exact conjunction to Saturn, which says about gaining authority. And then it's on the ascendant. And then the next planet it hits is the sun, Venus, and finally Jupiter. And it trines to the Mars, and then it hits Jupiter. So it's really about gaining authority and financial success. This is a great one. You will be waking up if you pre-order this one with me, and you're with me during the making of this.
At what time?
3:50 in the morning.
Okay, that's a great early start to the day.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday, April 10th, this is the one we were discussing a little bit before with that, Mercury sextile Saturn got the plan. This is to get the plan engaged.
I use the help from the big guy and commit to strive and thrive. All systems go. Yeah. Now, sometimes, when I talk about them in the transits, the moon isn't always cooperating. So I have to use the moon in talisman times. So
that's why they might differ just a little bit.
But this time, the moon is in the Aries. And it's a balsamic moon, but moon is making so many hits to the ascendant. Is being welcomed in by the sun at 21 degrees of Aries. And so the sun being exalted in Aries is welcoming every planet that is coming into Aries, which right now is Venus, Mercury, and now the moon is welcoming them in. So that's why it's a little bit, and it's in Aries. So looks like it's a completion period, but yet it's all systems go. So maybe that what is completed is that decision making of what you're going to do, how you're going to do launch. It. Because now boom.
It's the action plan now. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, don't forget we have our orbit of the month. This one is called This is Exciting. And you can find that on the Orbit of the Week. It's also on the front page of the website. So take a look at that, and let's get right into On the Horizon. April 10th through 16th is our 7-day intention challenge. Now, you've been hearing it from here. This is invite only. You can email me, alex@intentionbeads.com, if you have not already received your invite. If you have, then it's in your inbox, and all you have to do is click and sign up. We welcome you. We can't wait to have you. This is a really wonderful community gathering of people who have a talisman that really want to work with it and re-engage with that plan that they originally started.
And I find it interesting that the people that have signed up already, and it's free, right? But you do have to sign up. So we have to send you this private Zoom link.
Right.
So we do need you to go on to the website, and we'll tell them where to go in a second. But
they get the invite.
Oh, that's right. They get the invite.
It's a private link now. You used to be able to find it secretly if you searched on the website, but that isn't happening anymore. This is completely privatized.
So you'll get an email. And if you haven't gotten an email because you don't have a talisman, now is the time to buy a talisman. So you'll get the invite at that point. But the people that have signed up already have already attended the first one, which was our inaugural one that we did in January, which I thought was going to be just a 1-week event that we were going to kind of replace our Mexican
retreat
that we didn't have this year, but it's turning into maybe something we're going to be doing again and again. We'll see.
And it's wonderful. Yeah. So let's move into April 14th. This is when we have our CWS, which is the Chatting with the Stars webinar. This is the out of bounds planets that we're going to be describing. Well, Sandy and Susan will be describing. I'll be making the slides. So basically, when we talk about out of bounds planets, we're talking about the planets that, in a short interim go rogue. You can have these natally, or they can be happening like this Mars is happening right now, and 3 other planets are going rogue. So let's kind of dissect this and figure out, like, what are these extreme going rogue types of themes that will be, coming to us, and how can we get excited about them? Can we go and sign up for bungee jumping off of the Willis Tower? Can we, talk about some extreme subjects, or, at least go a little bit different with what our normal systems or routines can be?
And I want to comment on that because, right before we got onto this podcast, I'm like, you've been on that phone for a minute. Who are you texting? And you're like, oh, I'm getting on the wait list for this thing that's going on down at Willis Tower, which is our Sears Tower in Chicago. And
used to be the tallest building in Chicago.
And you said they're bungee jumping off. And I'm like, Alex, you have Mars and Uranus out of bounds. Until I knew that about you, I thought everything you did, driving a race car, jumping out of a plane, having no fear, doing something that's way out of bounds.
Yes.
But let me finish.
Go ahead.
I don't have any. So I think that is way cray-cray what you do. And when I was learning astrology, I'm like, oh my gosh, my daughter has 2 out of bounds planets. And these are the ones that are like taking action in Uranus, unusual, unpredictable ways, sudden, spontaneous. Like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go far and jump and
You're right. I am the sparkly spaz. Well, you're right. So I saw a message saying that Chicago and a lot of other global big buildings like the Eiffel Tower. How cool is that?
Yes.
People are going to be able to bungee jump off of there, which I'm more nervous about than jumping out of an airplane. Isn't that crazy?
Well, what happened? Like, how are you not going to hit a building?
I don't know. I think I trust that they've figured that part out.
Because, bungee jumping, you go boing, 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 but you also go back and forth.
Right. There's kind of this like crane looking thing that is hanging off.
That's
the
temporarily
side of the building.
put up. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But Okay.
Okay.
100 and so pounds isn't going to tip the scale. So, well, I just want to explain a little bit why I'm more nervous about bungee jumping than I am jumping out of a plane, because when you jump out of a plane for the first time, someone's tethered to your back.
Mm-hmm.
So I had someone physically had my back. Now it's all about just me jumping off. And so I think it's going to be really exciting. A lot of the work that I've done, with facilitating some of Joe Dispenza's groups is about really channeling in. How can we commandeer, how can we grip this scary bear in front of us and maintain control within ourselves and not go rogue personally in our own connection with ourselves. So I'm really excited about that. We'll see. I signed up for the waiting list, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's move on. But that's the Out of Bounds Planets webinar that we're talking about. So,
and you can, for extra $5, get your personal chart done, and I'll send you that before the event starts.
And then they'll know if they personally have any Out of Bounds planets.
And which ones they are.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
That's great information.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can normally get that type of information.
Right. Susan Goodell and I, neither one of us were born during a period when any of these planets were out of bounds.
Boring. Just kidding.
We're going to stay here right behind the mic, right in front of Zoom, in our chair. We're not moving.
Okay. So, of course, that link is there in the description. It is uploaded and ready to go for purchase. Let's move on to April 24th. This is when we're having our May astrology forecast. This is when Sandy and Susan are coming together on Facebook Live to give you this whole month of May dates and favorite transits of theirs and challenging days, and they give it all. Also, we will be having the cheat sheet by then, so make sure to download your cheat sheet as well so that you can be following along and taking your notes. Then in May, don't forget we have our Mother's Day pop-up coming up. That's also going to be happening in sometime in April once we have everything prepared and ready to go. If you are on the email list with both intention beads and she beads, you will be receiving that. And
remind me the she beads website, because I know we've had different websites over the last 30 years. No, it's which one?
she-beads.com.
Okay, she-beads.com.
So, but if you want to be notified when this is, just email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. I'll get you right on the list, exactly where you need to be. So May 11th through June 24th, this is our summer solstice constellation bracelet workshop. We only have a few spots left. So if you are considering this workshop, I highly recommend that you sign up sooner than later, because it will sell out. This is a really wonderful time to get very intimate with your own chart, with what's going on in your life, and really vision for yourself. What is it that you want? So I think that's it for On the Horizon.
Well, that's enough.
I think that's a lot.
I also wanted to mention one other thing with when Susan Goodell and I do the webinars, we're also doing, a half-hour check-in with anybody that wants us to do their personal charting.
Okay, I'll include the link on that as well. So in our house, this is literally you're being welcomed into our physical house. And my brother's getting married May 1st. And it's been a lot. Last week we talked about the bridal showers. We had 3 bridal showers in one weekend. You and I had 2 of them, but Rachel, my brother's fiance, had 3 in a matter of 24 hours, which I am
in 2 different states.
In 2 different states
of neither state she lives in right now.
Right. So she had to fly out and then drive around a whole lot. So now that we're in the final stages of really getting this wedding, ready to go, I wanted to talk about the moment when, Mom, you cried in the dressing room, and it was
what
a
the
good
hell was
cry.
That? What?
So I've been really dragging you out ever since this whole pandemic hit, it's been so easy. And I mean, we work from home. We can stay in our pajamas.
That's a true statement.
We don't have to, go out and do any of the events or crazy traveling that we've done in the past few years. And so getting a wedding dress, well, not a dress for the wedding, a mother of the groom wedding dress has been a little
feet
tough.
Feet and hands and fists and kicks.
And you're not a shopper. You're not that kind of lady.
Negative pessimism and I'm not a shopper. I think it's a waste of time. And nothing's fun. So
the complaining, I'll give everyone just a quick synopsis. The complaining starts in the parking lot of the mall.
No, when you tell me we're going. Like right now I'm complaining. Just thinking about it and I already did it.
But one of the funniest things is that whenever there's and really it's like whenever we shop together, I think that's like the one time that there's only one cashier and the line is like super long and you sit there for maybe a minute and then you're like, all right, I'm going. I'm leaving.
I do one of two things. What are they?
You go talk to a manager and tell them how to do their job.
Yes.
Or you leave.
Yep. I put whatever is down that I scrunched for and tried on. I'm like,
you hand it over to the manager and
I leave it right there and I'm out.
Could have had a sale.
Isn't that what you're in business for, ma'am?
Right. So, and I agree to a certain extent, especially when there are other people working on the floor that could be checking people out. That just, that's good business. You don't want people like waiting and having to stretch their patience.
Please take my money.
Right.
Please take my money.
I'll wait here for another 15 minutes.
I'll be patient so you can take my money. No.
So let's fast forward.
Okay.
I've been really trying to get you excited about putting on a really fancy, nice dress.
And you've been saying, we should probably start,
early.
5 weeks before the wedding. Now, this wedding has been delayed because of COVID. So, we knew about this wedding a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And then it got delayed. So, I could have started a year and a half ago. But I delayed because it was easy. And so, Mom, we're already out. I'm sure that was your plan. We had to go somewhere. And we're like, Mom, I've got some ideas. We'll go here and then we'll swing by there and we'll go there. I'm like, pick one place. I'm not going more than one place. And we go and we pull things in and we go into the fitting room and I'm like, stupid. Oh, no, don't even zip it up. No, ugly. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, how much does that cost again? Oh, hell no. Right? So just like, okay, leave everything here. We're not even giving it to the girl. I'm done. Let's go. And it went like that for how many times and how many different stores and different parts of the city that we're in. You're like, let's swing by here.
Yeah.
Well, we are on our way to Cincinnati for this bridal shower and you're checking online and I'm driving. You're like, take a right here. I'm like, oh, we're not going on this path. I know this path. I've been driving this for 40 years. Mm-hmm. And you go, yep, we're going over to the store.
Sting operation right there.
And we go in and I'm not working. I'm now on my little mini vacation, right? Going to Cincinnati driving. It's like, okay, we'll do this. And we go in and we pick a couple things and we go into the dressing room and I try this on. I'm like, nah, it's cute, but no. Try this on. No. Put this one dress on. You zip it up in the back and I look in the mirror.
Bam.
And I start crying.
Mm-hmm.
And my face just like goes up and crazy, like squinched. And I'm like, oh my God. I put my hand to my eyes and tears start coming down. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And Alex goes, take it off. That's yours. We're going to buy it. We look, there's no price tag.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Alex, we've looked at some of these price tags, which is why we didn't carry it in to the fitting room.
Well, if a dress is going to make you cry in a really good way, that's worth it.
It didn't make me mad. It didn't make me mad. It's kind of like when, like, I didn't throw up. Right?
Right.
And so when I cried, I'm like, why am I so touched in this moment?
Because you're...
So did it remind me of something? Did it hit a vision that I've had?
Maybe. I think it's the vision.
It's like, so Alex is like, Mom, whatever, we're not even looking. We're just going to go up, pay for it, and we're going to get in the car and we're going to continue on our drive. And we did. And finally, I'm like, whoa. Wait, how much was that dress again? Climb in the back, get the receipt in the bag. I'm like, are you kidding me? And we're keeping it. And so I'm super excited. I am super
fabulous.
excited about this dress.
I want to quick describe it for the listeners. It's this really wonderful, off-the-shoulder, cobalt blue, very nice and form-fitted dress that has a couple kind of ruffles that
one
ruffle that comes
flowy ruffle starting at the waist on the side
that trickles down, and it kind of has a little bit of a slit. And it's just so pretty. It's elegant, and this like cobalt blue is like fabulous. Being in Florida in some like bright warm temperatures, it's gonna be
not my color, but I don't know what made me cry, but it was a happy cry. So I'm happy we don't have to go shopping anymore.
Yes,
except you reminded me, what shoes am I going to wear?
Right. We need to get the shoes. I know.
I want nude shoes. Can I just go barefoot?
For part of it.
Okay.
So the tail end. So that's all for our house today. We thank you all for listening. Hopefully you do listen all the way to the end, where you can hear me awkwardly say goodbye. So
you spaz.
Again, thanks everybody for listening. It's been a pleasure compiling these episodes for you. So, of course, email me, alex@intentionbeats.com. Give me your feedback. We love those 5-star reviews over on iTunes. And if you can share with your friends or family, someone who you think would really enjoy the time that my mom and I spend here, giving you this astrological forecast, as well as our talismans and a little bit of our personal lives, just send it over to them and see what they say. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control